I'm joined today by the one and only Raufeon Stots, set to take on Cass Bell at Bellator 242. What's going on, man? How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. Chilling, just cutting weight, training.
There we go. I assume it must feel pretty good to hear that, though. You got that fight coming up, fighting at Bellator 242. Like, it must feel great.
Yeah, man, I feel blessed actually. I know it's not a lot of people getting opportunities now, and not a lot of opportunities, outside of the UFC or even Bellator. It's not. It's there's spare. There's a lot, like I said, not a lot of opportunities. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited.
And so, Bellator was being criticized a lot for being one of those promotions that still wasn't coming back. As a fighter on the roster, I mean, what's going through your mind? Are you thinking, like, it's going to be any minute they come back? Like, what's kind of going through your mind?
You know what? I was talking to Emmanuel Sanchez, one of my teammates, about it, and I feel that the Bellator, they have their athletes safety far utmost, or however you say that. So they put their athletes kind of above all else. So I believe that's why they didn't come back. They didn't come back because they weren't comfortable with coming back and something happening to the staff or the athletes. So I'm when I was talking to Emmanuel, he was like pretty much that they'll come back when they're safe or when they feel like they can safely hold an event, and that's when I want to come back. I don't want to come back have a fight and then spread something to my loved ones that'll potentially kill them. So I'm okay with how they handle it.
Okay, so it sounds like you took it really well. Like I saw some fighters like say crazy things like they don't want me to go out there and earn a paycheck and things like that. But it looks like you kind of took that step back and understood like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, man. I feel like a lot of people are selfish and with this whole COVID situation and can't see past their own fingertips. There's a lot of people in a lot worse positions. Even than us than fighters. It's people. Not only can't make a paycheck, but can't. You know, uh, they they cease to live. You know what I mean? So when I think about that type of stuff, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to be on this earth, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. But it's not everything to me.
And so how's the situation where you're at currently? I assume you're in Milwaukee, where of course you train. How's everything kind of going over there? I know different states have some sort of craziness going on.
Yeah, so Milwaukee has been. I feel like they've handled the situation fairly decent. They did a lockdown early on. Our numbers are kept fairly low. We had a resurgence, of course. They shut down parks and they shut down everything, and then when they came back, they recently had a mask mandate, and of course everybody's trying to social distance, but continue to live and get things back to normal. So as far as our gym like recently opened, I feel like the last month or so, and the same thing. They're taking a lot of safety precautions, a lot of cleaning, a lot of precautions. We have to do the mask mandate inside the gym, so we're taking everything very seriously, and I think if everybody would do that, we'd be in a lot better
Right.
situation.
For sure. I see things from the outside because I'm currently in France and we did things very well. Like people were wearing the mask and stuff. Like things were taken care of well. But I'm looking at the United States, even where my mom is currently, and it's crazy. It feels like people don't realize what's going on outside of the United States.
Exactly, man. People are so like I said, man. They can't see past their own, privilege or whatever you want to call it. Like what does it hurt, for you to wear a mask, or what does it hurt
Right.
for you to, stay at a safe distance than people? You know what I mean? People feel like everything the government tells them is uh, infringing on their
Right.
rights. But that's a
Yeah.
different conversation, I guess.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like wear a mask, wash your hands, stay away from people. Staying away from people, it shouldn't. I mean, come on. Like if you have a problem with that, you're probably really annoying, and then the rest is it's not that bad.
Right. It's not that bad, man. The restrictions you have is not that bad. Of course, us homebodies are like, well, we can stay away
Right.
from people. We can stay home. We can But I
Yeah.
mean, that was the other thing that I feel like was a little, I raised my eyebrow here in Wisconsin. They opened up bars, and I've seen on the news people are like, "Oh man, I had to get to the bar to get my first drink." Like, is that really more important to you than your life? Is that really more important to you than people's safeties? But I guess to some people it is, man. It's all where I guess people's priorities lie and all types of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure some people are looking at it like, do you not have beer at home? Like, I'd rather just
Right, you know
drink,
what I mean?
like at home. Like, yeah.
You can't get a six pack and go to the crib.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But
exactly.
you know, it is what it is. Um, People would also say, I guess, they could like criticize. I mean, I'm going to the gym. We're being safe at our gym and doing what we can or whatever, and I'm training in very small, I guess, cliques or whatever in my gym. But you know what I'm saying? I guess it's to each. Everybody has their own, I don't know, way of looking at it. And I feel like
Here's
that is the for America, that was the problem from the beginning. Like if everybody would have been shut down, like if the government would have said, "Hey, everybody shut down for 2 weeks," instead of like, "Oh well, you can shut down, and then if you don't want to shut
right.
down, you don't have to." You know what I mean? If there was something that we just like really nipped that or killed this in the bud, it wouldn't have been so crazy. But this is where we're at.
I know one thing I'm curious about is, my mom, she says when she goes grocery shopping, obviously she's wearing the mask, all that good stuff, but she has people that don't wear masks that brush up against her and that try to like provoke her. For you as a fighter, do you have stuff like that? Because I assume it's different, right? Because you're like, oh, I'll kick your ass right now. It's not that hard.
Well, I haven't, and I usually avoid most conversations because, like I said, I'm a homebody. So,
Yeah.
I haven't had a altercation of getting like close to a street fight in so long. But it's probably because since I got married, I don't go to the clubs no more. My wife does
Right.
most of the shopping. And especially since COVID, I haven't really done any the grocery store shopping. You know what I mean? So, and I really only go to the like gym, the private
Yeah.
lessons, teaching wrestling. That's like the only places I go. So I usually don't have those altercations. Back in college, I feel like I would have like, well, when somebody would brush up into me. And
Yeah.
also I feel like I kind of avoid those situations now because my priorities lie, different. You know what I mean? I'm not going
Yeah.
out here looking for fights unless you like paying me some money to fight somebody.
Right. Right. Yeah. Because for you, it's like it's your job. So if you're not paying me, like I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. And I feel like too. I've taught at a couple schools, like teaching martial arts or introducing martial arts to kids. Once you like, if you know you're a fighter and you know you're good, there's no need for you to fight some random dude on the street because you
Right.
know that fight usually comes from insecurity on both or either both or one party. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's insecure about themselves, so they feel a need to show you that they can do something. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yeah.
myself, I know I'm gonna whoop somebody. I
Right.
mean, I know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'm. I have no doubt in my mind. Of civilian, I have no doubt in my mind. It's like me going and fighting a kid. There's no reason for me to do it. You know what I mean? So, people
Yeah.
crazy though,
True.
man. People crazy.
There we go, man. Listen, they were announcing the Bellator fights. I think it was this week, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then we found out the date, and we're like, "Hold up, this happening really quickly." When did you, as the fighter, when did you find out? Because there's no way you found out at the same time we did.
Yeah, so I found out probably like a couple weeks before they announced, and then they were just like waiting to pretty much I think they wanted to have everything secure. They wanted to have a place secure, have everything secure before they did it. But yeah, so I found out a couple weeks before everybody else found out.
Well, it's a good thing too, because you have your training camp and everything. I assume it's like if they give you 2 weeks for it, like you might be able to string something together, but that's going to be really tough.
Yeah, especially in this time, you know what I mean? So they didn't give us like the date. We actually didn't know a lot. We didn't know a lot going into it. They gave us they said, "Hey, be ready end of July pretty much." And
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Everybody is like grateful to, be fighting
yeah.
even. So like, yeah, okay. Whatever y'all say, I'll be ready, man.
So what does the training camp look like in that situation? Because all they're telling you is, make sure you're ready to fight. But if you don't know your opponent and things like that, like I assume it must have been very different for you compared to some other camps.
No, for me, my camps, I'm always like trying to be better at what I do. So to eliminate, I kind of I call myself a well-rounded fighter where I can dictate where the fight goes, and I want to be better than you in the positions I put you in, if that makes sense. So for me, it's not really that outside of camp, what I'm normally doing is getting better at positions that I'm weaker at, or skills that I'm weaker at, and just tightening up the skills. I mean, for the most part, for me, it's about training me. You know what I mean? Training to be my best fighter. So even when I have fight camps, I'm never like too worried about what the other person does, because they can change it. They can change it that night. You know what I mean? The coaches might pick up on a couple things. You know what I mean? Maybe one or two things that are tendencies, but other than that, it's like being better as a mixed martial artist within my own right. You know what I mean? So the camp wasn't really that different. We were training. I think it started. We training with Anthony Pettis. He had a fight, so we're
Yeah.
giving him looks for his fight. And then some other guys. I think Jordan Griffin had a fight, so we was giving him looks for his fight. Gerald Mearshart had a fight. We was giving him looks. So we were just pretty much. I mean, I like where the gym's at, and I like where our head's at. We're just pretty much getting better. Everybody's getting better at being mixed martial artists.
All right, so I have a very important question for you outside of the fight. You are someone that's at Rufus Sport, and we found out that the famous duo, everybody's favorite duo on Twitter and in the MMA world, Jared Gordon and Bilal Muhammad, unfortunately are no longer together because Jared went to Florida. How devastating has that been? Like,
So devastating. It's a sad day, and the whole MMA community is mourning.
oh man, I was talking to Jared, and I was like, I talked to Bilal, and he said your apartment's neglected, and he's like, nah, I'm in Florida, I'm done with that. Like I almost cried in the middle of the interview. I had to stop it for a little bit.
Yeah, man. No, they're so. I love them guys. They are so funny. Like without even being funny, I love those dudes, man. But yeah, Gerald and everybody, there's nothing but love, going toward Jared,
Yeah.
going to Florida. He's been going there with his wife or his future wife, and Bilal too. Those guys are awesome.
All right, listen, man.
Yeah, I talked to Jared I think a couple days ago, or no, on Facebook or something. But yeah, I mean it's a sad day. You know what I'm saying? We all mourned, the losing of Jared, but we understand that he had to be with his wife. It's easier on his relationship, and yeah, we just try to make it.
I feel
We just try to
I feel like you guys have to put the picture
carry
of
on.
him in the gym, light the candles, maybe leave Muhammad alone
Yep,
for a few
exactly.
days. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Light some aroma.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, man. One last question. I didn't mean for us to get all sad here talking about the duo ending, but
Right?
there we go. Listen, one last question. Obviously, his fight against Caspel, kind of an easy one. A million people are going to ask you this question, but how do you see his fight playing out?
Man, I see this fight. Be myself. I'm going out there to dominate. I'm going out there to dominate and excite. You know what I mean? So I see myself dominating in an exciting fashion. He comes out the gate. He's a tough competitor. He's 5-0 in Bellator, so he's got a lot of experience in the Bellator cage. But I feel like even though he's older than me, I'm the older fighter. You know what I mean? I had bigger tests. You know what I mean? I've had bigger opportunities. I've had bigger fights. But this one is gonna be a tough one. But I'm going out there to do what I'm supposed to do. And that's dominate. So that's where my head's at.
Well, there we go. Listen, we look forward to it. It's good to see Bellator back. It's good to see that you're back. Thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man.